The ocean didn't just go quiet that morning. It held its breath. I was 20 miles off the coast, drifting in the gray silence. Usually, the gulls would be screaming for scraps, or the radio would be buzzing with fishermen lying about their catch. Today, nothing. No static, no wind, just the smell of ozone and wet iron, thick enough to taste on the back of my tongue. My name is Marcus Hale. I'm a fisherman with more debts than friends, and a boat held together by rust and bad luck. My gut told me to cut the lines and run. It was the same feeling you get right before a car crash, that sudden heavy stillness. But a man who owes money to the wrong people doesn't listen to his gut. He listens to the empty winch. I dropped the net. For an hour, the cable hung straight down into the black, dead weight. Then, the boat lurched. It wasn't a tug, it was a collision. The steel deck groaned under my boots. The winch screamed, metal grinding against metal, smoke rising from the gears as it dragged something massive from the dark. It wasn't fighting like a shark. Sharks thrash. This was heavy, still, deliberate. I hit the reverse throttle, trying to stabilize, but the weight pulled the stern down. Water lapped over the rail. "Come on, you piece of junk," I cursed, slamming the lever. Slowly, agonizingly, the net broke the surface. I didn't see fish. I didn't see a whale. I saw a pale, tangled shape twisted in the mesh. It looked like a human body wrapped in a shroud of white foam. My stomach dropped. I grabbed my knife, expecting to cut loose a drowned corpse. I pulled the net onto the slick deck. The smell hit me instantly. Not rotting flesh, but something sharp, like copper and charged electricity. I sliced the ropes. The corpse moved. It didn't twitch. It uncoiled. A hand shot out and grabbed my wrist. The grip was crushing, the skin freezing cold and slimy. I yelled and tried to pull back, but she held on. She opened her eyes. They weren't human. They were vertical slits of bioluminescent blue, glowing like deep ice in the gray dawn. They didn't have whites, just endless, swirling indigo. She hissed. It wasn't a sound made by lungs. It was a frequency that vibrated my teeth and made my vision blur. She was tangled in the ropes, a creature of nightmare beauty. Long, silver hair floated in the air as if she were still underwater. Her skin was translucent, pale blue, with veins that pulsed with faint light. And the tail, it was long, muscular, and torn. Thick blue blood oozed from a gash in her side, smelling of salt water and metal. She looked at me. Her lips peeled back to reveal rows of triangular, translucent teeth, needle sharp, perfect for tearing meat. "Help me." She didn't speak. The voice hijacked my brain. It was cold, heavy, and desperate. It felt like cold water being poured directly into my ear. I stumbled back, dropping my knife. What are you?" "They are hunting me." The voice grew louder, pressing against my temples. "Hide me, please." I should have thrown her back. Every instinct screamed that this was a predator, an apex killer from the deep. But her hand, webbed, trembling, tightened on my wrist. The touch burned, not heat. Connection. I felt her fear. It wasn't human fear. It was the terror of a species facing extinction. I felt her hunger, and underneath it all, I felt chosen. "Who is hunting you?" I whispered, my voice shaking. She didn't answer. She just looked at the bait tank. I didn't think. I acted. I scooped her up. She was surprisingly light. Her bones hollow like a bird's, but her muscle was dense. I shoved her into the bait tank and flooded it with seawater. She curled up instantly, the water turning pink from her blue blood. I threw a heavy canvas tarp over the tank. I sat on the deck, my heart hammering against my ribs like a trapped bird. I didn't know I had just hidden a biological weapon on my boat. I thought I was saving her. I was just delivering the package.
3 days passed. The sea turned to glass. No wind, no waves, just the sun baking the peeling paint on the deck. I didn't go back to shore. The voice in my head told me not to. Stay, it commanded. Wait. I called her Celesta. She didn't offer a name. She just took the one I gave her, tasting it in my mind like a new flavor. She ate everything I threw in. Mackerel, crabs, old bait. She didn't chew. She swallowed whole, her throat expanding like a snake, her jaw unhinging slightly. It was horrifying. It was mesmerizing. By day, she slept in the dark water. By night, she watched me through the hatch. I sat on the deck chair, a bottle of cheap whiskey in my hand, talking to a monster. Why me? I asked on the second night.
We're gonna have to leave. Soon.
There are 1,000 boats. Why my net? The answer rippled through my skull. You are empty, Marcus. I stiffened. I can taste it, she projected. Your wife left. Your house is sold. You owe money to men who will break your legs. You have nothing anchoring you to the surface. That doesn't make me special, I muttered, taking a drink. That makes me a loser. No, she whispered. That makes you ready. She reached up from the tank. Her webbed fingers touched the glass.
My sisters. They are deadly.
My sisters. They want to end the lineage. They say our time is done, that we should fade into the silt. Her eyes glowed brighter, illuminating the dark deck. I am the last vessel, the last chance. I didn't understand then. I thought she meant royalty. I didn't know vessel meant incubator. On the third night, the silence broke. I was sleeping on the bench when a sound woke me, singing, but not with a voice. It was a vibration coming from the tank, a low thrumming hum that resonated in the steel hull of the boat. It sounded like a whale song, but structured, mathematical. I walked to the tank and lifted the tarp. Celesta was floating upright. Her hair fanned out around her face. Her wounds were gone, healed, without a scar. Her scales were no longer dull. They shifted from pearl to obsidian, glowing with a blinding rhythm. She looked at me. She didn't look afraid anymore. She looked hungry. You're healed, I said. I am prepared, she corrected. The boat rocked. The water in the tank sloshed violently. I looked at the horizon. The stars were gone. A wall of black clouds was rolling over the ocean, moving faster than any storm I had ever seen. Lightning struck the water without thunder, silent, purple flashes that lit up the deep. My radio crackled to life, static. Then a sound that made my blood freeze. High-pitched shrieks, sonar pings, thousands of them. They found me, Celesta whispered in my mind. Who? I shouted, running to the wheelhouse. Who found you? She didn't answer. The first wave hit us. It wasn't water. It was a wall of concrete. The windshield shattered. I was thrown against the bulkhead. Blood filled my mouth. We have to go, I screamed, crawling back toward the tank. We have to abandon ship. Celesta stood up in the tank. The water drained away, leaving her glistening in the lightning. She reached a hand out to me. No, Marcus, she said, her voice calm amidst the chaos. We don't have to go anywhere. We are already here. The hull cracked open with a sound like a gunshot. The ocean rushed in, and the world went black. cold. That was the first thing. A cold so absolute it felt like burning. I was underwater. The boat was gone. The surface was a churning ceiling of white foam and lightning, drifting further away with every second. I tried to swim, but my boots were heavy lead weights dragging me down. The current spun me like a rag doll. My lungs burned. My chest spasmed, begging for air. I held it. I held it until my vision went red. Then the reflex took over. I opened my mouth to scream, and the ocean rushed in. Salt water flooded my throat. It filled my lungs with heavy, freezing death. I felt my heart stutter. My mind went blank. Die, the ocean whispered. Then, she was there. Celesta drifted out of the dark. She wasn't fighting the current. She was part of it. Her silver hair floated around her like a halo of bioluminescent wire. She grabbed my face. Her claws dug into my scalp. She didn't look sad. She looked focused, like a surgeon. She pulled me close. Her needle teeth grazed my lips. "Breathe," she commanded in my skull. She pressed her mouth to mine. I expected air. I expected a bubble of oxygen to save me. I was wrong. Thick, warm fluid flooded from her mouth into mine. It tasted of copper, electricity, and raw iron. It forced its way down my throat, deeper than water, heavier than blood. It hit my lungs like acid. I tried to push her away, but she was stronger than hydraulic steel. She held me there as the fire spread through my chest. My neck felt like it was being sliced open with razor blades. "Let it in," she hissed. "Evolve." I convulsed. My ribs cracked, expanding to make room for something new. The skin on my neck split open with a wet, tearing sound. Then, the pain stopped. The water didn't feel heavy anymore. It felt thin, like air. I gasped. I wasn't choking. I was breathing. Water rushed into my mouth and cycled out through the new, raw slits in my neck. Gills. I touched my throat. I felt the pulsing, wet ridges. I looked at her in horror. She wiped a smear of blue blood from her lip and smiled. "The surface forgets," she whispered, her voice clear as a bell now. "The deep remembers." She hadn't saved me. She had harvested me.
She didn't let me go. She dragged me down. We fell past the storm, past the light, past the crushed depth where submarines crumpled like soda cans. My new body didn't break. My bones felt denser. My skin tingled, hardening against the pressure. We landed on a ridge overlooking a trench, and there I saw it. It wasn't a reef. It was a fortress. Towers of jagged black obsidian spiraled into the dark, lit by pulsing veins of neon blue light. Bridges made from the ribs of ancient leviathans connected the spires. Machines that looked half biological hummed with a low frequency that vibrated my new spine.
Welcome home, King.
"Welcome home, King," she said. We swam toward the gates. Shadows emerged from the structures. The hunters, the sisters she was running from. They were tall, sleek nightmares with pearl eyes and spears made of transparent glass. They surrounded us. I tensed, ready to fight with my bare hands. But they didn't attack. They stopped. They looked at Celesta. Then they looked at me. They lowered their spears. One by one, they bowed. "You lied," I projected. My thoughts were loud now, echoing in the water. "You said they were hunting you." Celesta turned to me. Her tail brushed my legs, heavy and possessive. "I selected," she corrected. "Our species is dying, Marcus. We are ancient, powerful, but our blood has grown thin. We are stagnant." She circled me, her eyes glowing with terrifying pride. "Every 7 years, a runner goes to the surface. She pretends to be weak. She finds a human who is broken, but unbroken. Someone with rage, someone with debt, someone who fights." She touched my chest. "We bring him down. We rewrite his biology to restart the cycle." I looked at my hands. They were webbed, glowing with faint blue bioluminescence. I looked at the city. It wasn't a prison. It was an empire waiting for a ruler. Above, I was a debtor, a failure, a lonely fisherman waiting to lose his boat. Here, I felt the power of the trench flowing through me. I felt the minds of 1,000 creatures waiting for my command. "Do you want to go back?" she asked, pointing to the distant, unreachable surface. "To your debts? To your empty house? To the silence?" I looked up at the black void where the sun used to be. I looked at Celesta. I looked at the army bowing before me. I bared my new sharp teeth. "No," I said. "Let the surface rot."
They say the Bermuda Triangle swallows ships. They say the ocean is a graveyard. They are wrong. The ocean is a womb. Years have passed. I don't count them in days or hours anymore. I count them in hatchings. The city has grown. New spires of black coral rise from the trench every month, built by the hands of my subjects. The bioluminescent lights of our empire now stretch for miles, a galaxy trapped under the crushing dark. And the silence is gone. The halls are filled with the sounds of our children. They swim through the obsidian arches, faster than torpedoes. They are beautiful. They are terrifying. They have my shoulders, my rage, but they have her eyes, her scales, her ability to breathe water and crush steel with their bare hands. They don't know what debt is. They don't know what failure is. They only know strength. I sit on my throne of woven bone and black iron. Celesta coils beside me. She hasn't aged a day. Her hand rests on my chest, feeling the slow, powerful thud of a heart that no longer needs air to beat. She told me once she was running from the sea, but she was lying. The sea wasn't chasing her. The sea was waiting for her to bring it a king, and she did. Sometimes I swim up to the shallows. I look at the hulls of the fishing boats drifting above, oblivious to the titans sleeping beneath them. I see the nets dropping down. I smile. They drop their nets hoping to catch fish. They don't know that we are the ones fishing now. My name was Marcus Hale. I was a fisherman who couldn't pay his bills. Now, I am the father of a new species. I am the guardian of the trench, and my children are hungry. Let the surface keep their sun. We own the dark, and when the time is right, the tide will rise.